Hollow Knight is a game that lingers in your mind long after you set the controller down. The hauntingly beautiful world, tragic characters, and challenging gameplay combine to create an unforgettable experience. But there's one element that ties everything together, elevating the game to something truly extraordinary. Its music. Christopher Larkin's ability to weave the game's most pivotal moments with his compositions transforms Hollow Knight into a masterpiece. Christopher Larkin, an Australian composer with a decade of experience, is best known for his work on Hollow Knight. However, his journey into music began long before he joined Team Cherry. Larkin studied music composition at the Queensland Conservatorium of Music, where he honed his skills in both classical and contemporary music. His formal training provided him with a strong foundation in music history, which he later used to craft the intricate and emotionally resonant soundtrack for Hollow Knight. Before Hollow Knight, Larkin worked on some smaller projects, including short films and indie games. These early experiences allowed him to experiment with different styles and techniques, helping him develop his unique voice as a composer. When Hollow Knight launched in 2017, its soundtrack was met with universal praise. Fans were captivated by how Larkin's music captured the game's emotional depth and atmospheric beauty, while critics hailed it as one of the best video game soundtracks of the year. The success of Hollow Knight didn't just put Larkin on the map, it cemented him as one of the most talented composers in the industry. But let's talk about the music itself. In Hollow Knight, the soundtrack doesn't just set the mood, it defines the world. Take the City of Tears, the heart of Hollow Knight's fallen civilization. From the moment you step into the city, a slow, melancholic piano wraps you around like a heavy blanket. Written in a minor key, it's dripping with sorrow and introspection. But Larkin doesn't stop there. Beneath the piano, soft strings hum like the ghosts of the city's past lingering in the air. And then there's the rain. Those ambient droplets aren't just background noise. Larkin weaves them into the rhythm, turning the environment itself into an instrument. It's a subtle touch, but it blurs the line between the game's world and its music. You're not just hearing the rain, you're feeling it. This is a city drowning in memories, and the soundtrack makes sure you never forget it. Now, compare that to Greenpath. Here, the music is bright and playful, with a lilting flute melody and a bouncy rhythm. The contrast between these two areas demonstrates how the music adapts to the environment, making each location feel unique and memorable. And then, there's Deepnest, where the music disappears entirely. Instead of a melody, you hear the skittering of bugs and distant echoes of the cavern. The absence of music makes the area feel unsettling and dangerous, proving that silence can just be as powerful as sound. Hollow Knight also uses leitmotifs, recurring musical themes tied to characters, to incredible effect. The Hollow Knight's motif is a masterclass in this technique. When you first hear their theme, Dirtmouth, it's a fragile music box melody, a lullaby tinged with sadness. When Sealed Vessel, the same melody is twisted. Dissonant chords crash like chains and the tempo staggers, mirroring the character's corruption. The music box becomes a broken record, looping fragments of a forgotten song. You're not just fighting a villain, you're witnessing a fallen hero's final moments. Compare this to Hornet. is all urgency, staccato strings, and driving percussion. The use of the Phrygian dominant scale adds an exotic, almost regal tension, reflecting her role as a formidable warrior. But there's a vulnerability buried in the track too. During brief pauses in the fight, the music softens, hinting at her hidden burdens. In Hollow Knight, music and gameplay are inseparable. Take the Mantis Lords fight, for example. When the battle begins, the music is frenzied. Violins, fast drums, and a melody that mirrors their flurry of attacks. But when the lords pause to bow, the music transforms. Choir swells, the tempo slows, and the violins shift to a stately, almost ceremonious melody. This isn't just a cool transition, it's a narrative choice. The Mantis Lords aren't mindless enemies, they're honorable warriors testing your worth. The music underscores their dignity, making the fight feel less like a brawl and more like a deadly dance. Exploration areas also use music to guide you. Crystal Peak, the soundtrack shimmers with high-pitched Celesta notes, mimicking the clink of pickaxes and the glint of gems. The melody loops seamlessly, but Larkin layers in new instruments and, as you send, a subtle audio cue that you're progressing. But Larkin adds new instruments as you send, such as drums and higher volume of instruments, making the journey of Hollow Knight feel a lot more concise. By the time you reach the peak, the music feels fuller, brighter, and as if the crystals themselves are singing. It's a reward for your curiosity, urging you to climb higher. The Hollow Knight soundtrack resonates because it's alive. It breathes with the world, reacts to your actions, and echoes the character's souls. The Resting Ground's mournful choir mirrors the sadness of Hollow Nest's graves. The White Palace's delicate piano captures both the beauty and brutality of its saw blade gauntlets. Even the cheerful Grub theme, with its playful glockenspiel, ties into the game's themes of hope and rescue. What makes Hollow Knight's music unforgettable is its restraint. Moments of silence, like the aching quiet of the abyss, are just as impactful as the grandest orchestral swells. The soundtrack trusts you to feel, to listen, to interpret. It's a conversation, not just a monologue. And when the music does crescendo, it's earned. The White Palace's soundtrack starts as a gentle lullaby, but becomes increasingly chaotic as the challenge intensifies. You're not just hearing the music, you're surviving it. Since Hollow Knight, Larkin has continued to collaborate with Team Cherry on the highly anticipated DLC, Hollow Knight Silksong. While details about the new soundtrack remain under wraps, the trailers have already given a taste of what's to come. Fans are awaiting the chance to dive back into Larkin's musical world and experience the next chapter in Hollow Knight, even if Silksong feels like it's never coming out. Christopher Larkin's soundtrack isn't just a collection of tracks, it's the soul of Hollow Nest. It transformed desolate ruins into memorials, enemies into tragedies, and silence into a weapon. This is music that doesn't just enhance the game, it completes it. Long after the credits roll, these melodies stay with you. Reminder that even in the kingdom of rot and ruin, there's beauty to be found. So the next time you descend into Hollow Nest, take a moment to listen. Not just to the music, but to what it's saying. Before I wrap up, I want to take a moment to thank you for 500 subscribers. Kind of wild that we've more than doubled since the last video. I'm incredibly grateful for your support, and I hope you've enjoyed the past few videos. Thank you for being here, and remember, don't go hollow.